Howdy y'all ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another brand new video. Now this video is going to be a little bit different than the previous ones, but pretty much similar to what other content creators have been putting on lately. And if you've been in the community in the recent days, you might have already guessed what is the topic. But yeah, either way, Codmine Man has actually released a video about the state of War Thunder and what are the situations and the problems of the game. And I found the video relatively interesting, and there were plenty of things that he discussed in the video that were quite nice. The issue of copy and paste, the AI slop, the issue of how they actually selectively accept some reports of like different vehicles and stuff. We'll get into that a little bit later, and so on and so on. There are plenty of things about in the video. I would highly recommend you guys to check that out. And I have to say though, by the way, as an editor, I really have to say it was well edited. Like, goddamn. Anyways, I'm gonna put in some disclaimers over here. First of all, the things that I say over here are just my opinions, and this is overall just a video so I could actually address some of the issues I also have with regards to the helicopters, because the problems that I've seen that people are the content creators are actually talking about, I can also see those same issues in helicopters as well, especially with regards to the copy and paste, and of course the fact that they go ahead and they don't test their stuff, they don't play their own game, they don't know how to balance stuff at times, and so on and so forth. Now, one of the issues that was talked about quite a lot was the problem of copy-paste. Now, in my personal opinion, copy-paste is a type of card Gaijin can actually use in either moment of emergency situations or just desperation, or maybe something that's like, that can be quite interesting. Like, you see, in my opinion, copy-paste must have a purpose. Must have a reason. It must give some sort of a unique experience to the player. Now, copy and paste isn't really something new. It's been like there for quite a while, but I feel like it was mostly there to give a unique experience. It would encourage you to also grind the other tech trees as well. Like, for example, you had the Lend-Lease vehicles in the Soviet tree, you had the IL-2, P-47, the Wellington in the German tree, or even that you had the German BF-109, or was it the Japanese FW-190 in the American tree? It was something similar to that, right? Now, eventually we went forward and it was like, you know, we got the MiG-21s, and then you had the F-5s, and things just slowly went up higher and higher. There's this famous meme, I think, it's called there's a Sherman in every single tech tree at this point. And then I looked at Israel, I was like, oh yeah, Israel doesn't have any kind of Shermans, and the first vehicle you get is a Sherman. I don't mind copy and paste vehicles if they want to fill up a gap, or if they want to, you know, they give a unique experience to a separate tech tree and stuff. That we really can't get rid of it, because the further we go forward as well, the more nations tend to get, like, you know, purchase new vehicles that are like from other nations. You know, for example, you're gonna have a lot of things with the F-35, dude. Like, so many nations are buying the F-35 right now. Top tier is just gonna be F-35 versus like KF-21 or Su-57 or the F-22. Like, you'll see the copy and paste issue being, but that doesn't justify Gaijin repeatedly sending copy and paste without giving a special unique experience. I still don't mind it, because, you know, I still got this old experience of a new player. You know, I still have that in me, because there are three types of reaction when it comes to like every time copy pasted content comes in. Like, the first ones are going to be those new players that came to the game and they were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna grind out United States and then I'm gonna go grind Israel, whatever. Why am I saying Israel specifically, as if I'm like, my country's not at war with it and I'm gonna get into trouble? But either way, no, because Israel was the first tech tree I've actually finished. Now, that's why I'm putting this in an experience. Like, imagine a new player trying to like grind Israel. By the way, Israel's a half one, so he grinds US and then goes to the Israel ground, right? He grinds the Israeli tree, finishes it, and then the Greek vehicles get announced, and they get Leopard 2A6s, Rafales, and Mirage 2000. For a new player, he doesn't have to go through an entire tech tree of France or Germany or any other nation that basically has Leopard 2A6s or Rafales, or hell, even the OH-50AD as well, and not to mention Cyprus vehicles too. He doesn't have to go through all of that grind to basically get the vehicle that he wants. Now, the second reaction is going to be those type of individuals that want to see their nation within the game. Like, for example, I wouldn't mind seeing the Iranian vehicles in the War Thunder, because we also do have plenty of unique vehicles as well, because eventually we had to cut ties with the West and the East and everybody, and we had to make our own vehicles, do our own modifications and all these kinds of stuff. Part of it is because of nationalism as well. It's like, it's so good to see the vehicles of your country, you know. And then you have the veteran players that want to experience experience new things instead of just, you know, the same thing over and over. Like, put yourself in the shoes of a veteran player, like new guys. Imagine this. You're a guy that pretty much finished up most of the War Thunder content. You got the Leopards, the Shermans, you got the Abramses, and all these vehicles that Gaijin releases every single goddamn update. And then all of a sudden, you have this Squadron MiG-21 2000 that's like, meh. You have the M1 Abrams in the British tree. You have a Leopard in the Japanese tech tree. You have Abrams in the Chinese tree. You have the Mi-24D, Mi-24V in this tech tree, that tech tree, and all the crap. So if a veteran player looks at this, it's like, dude, it's all just copy and paste, man. And especially recently with a recent update, it was like a lot more bolder than usual. Not saying we didn't have unique vehicles, but copy paste became a little bit more annoying than usual. Now for me, I don't mind copy and paste once again, especially like, you know, when I saw the 4 AH-64Es being added to the game, I was kind of hopeful. I was like, oh yeah, we have the AH-64E now and for the other tech trees as well. Each of them have their own unique experiences. You know, for example, one of them doesn't have the JAGMs, the other one doesn't have the what was it, the LDIR-CCM. The other one has like 8 stingers instead of 4, or the radar system on this thing is like 8 kilometers instead of 16. I was like, hey, you know what, it's copy and paste. It's like, you can definitely tell that Gaijin literally copy pasted the models, put them in the tech trees, and didn't even bother to make unique skins all the way until like last bit of the dev server, where they were like, oh yeah, let's just add unique skins instead of being like copy pasted skin for the Dutch one. And I was like, hey, you know what, this whatever. They definitely needed these helicopters that have, you know, the fire and forget missiles with the laser, the LDIR-CCM. But then Gaijin decided, was like, hey, you know what, let's just not give any kind of unique experiences to anybody. Let's just add LDIR-CM and the JAGMs, SALs, and the IRs for everybody else, and just not give any kind of unique experiences to, you know, any other vehicle. Now, especially the Chinese Apache, sorry, the Taiwanese Apache that got added. And I was like looking at the Z10ME, and I was like, yeah, I think they can be decent duo, that if you want to, for example, have 16 JAGMs instead of like 8, Blue Arrow 11 with the CM502 KGs being painfully slow, and, you know, you can have this unique experience of the JAGMs that are really fast. And because at that time, Chinese CAS was really, really lacking. Right now, Chinese CAS doesn't really lack at all. The Z10ME alone is like the main helicopter that has the BA-11s, which are already, in my opinion at least, better than the JAGMs regardless. So you have this Taiwanese Apache that's like completely pointless in the tech tree. I said it once and I said it again. I don't think they should put in like too many copy and paste, but at least make the experiences unique, I guess. Now the next topic we're going to be talking about is going to be the Gooner stuff and the Senrai Maidens and the, what was the name? Yeah, the usage of AI, of course. Let's start with the AI. In my personal opinion, if you want to use AI, do it in a way that it's going to assist you in your projects, into improving yourself and in your future projects, not replacing your whole fucking work, giving you better ideas, or just helping you, teaching you how to make your things a little bit better. These are the type of things I would personally use the AI for, not just completely replace something out of your project. Like, imagine this, right? Imagine me in my videos with the AI voice guy just voicing everything in the video.
The IL-2 Strum Movic is the type of helicopter that you cannot play, because Bob Dickinson is too lazy to use his own voice.
But hey, maybe I understood the situation wrong, because, you know, they outsourced their projects to like an entirely different company or whatever, and then they apparently used AI, so once they received the project, they didn't process it properly, and you literally had Gemini logos on the Senrai Maidens, which, speaking of Senrai Maidens, by the way, I have this weird feeling of Gaijin having this wasted opportunity with the Senrai Maidens, because, you know, Wargaming and World of Tanks, they already got like a, I guess, exclusive license to the girls and Panzer, so they have their own tank in their own game as, like, you know, separate voice acting and the textures and like different premium vehicles and whatnot, leaving Gaijin to pretty much work with nothing. And so Gaijin had to go ahead and work on their own IP, and they got the Senrai Maidens. They got like 3 waifus, they had a Leopard, T-80, Abrams, and I guess they sold really well. And then they continued onwards with the usage of the AI as well, with regards to the texture designs and stuff. Like on the second batch of the Senrai Maiden skins and the tanks themselves, you literally had like some of the text not making any kind of sense, or just some of the designs were not good enough, and overall it kind of felt like it came out of an AI slop prompt, and the community is pissed off about it, and I totally understand that. I'm gonna be real with you, dude. I am not really sure about this entire Gooner Gooner Thunder thing. Like, I literally watched the second trailer for the Senrai Maidens where they announced the, 3 new vehicles, the Type 90 Challenger and the, was it the VT5 or the MBT 2000? I don't know, man. It's probably like DJ Khaled or something. Anyways, you had this trailer thingy for it, and once I watched it, I burst into fucking tears out of laughter, just for the specific fact that there was that specific scene where there was the Challenger lady tried to fucking kill the guy. Also, they had a fucking Merkava in their lineup as well. He tried to like strangle the guy with her thighs, and the guy's reaction was just fucking Jesus Christ. Like, Senrai Maidens has this high potential. This is the problem with Gaijin. They have high potential with their products, and they're just not using it for shit. Like, instead of making this 1-minute trailer of this thigh-crushing scene, how about you go ahead and, like, I don't know, maybe add some dynamic campaigns or just, single-player missions where you would just essentially use this specific tank that you bought, and buying this tank would actually unlock a campaign where you would essentially have, like, different backstories, cutscenes, and dialogues, and special missions with special rewards and decorations and all these kinds of stuff. All these things you could do, but then you decided to stick to this fucking multiplayer thingy that's just... you have so much potential, Gaijin. You have more than 2,000 fucking vehicles. Is it more than 2,000? I don't fucking know. You have more than enough to just make content out of it. Remember the P38J and the... I don't know what was the Japanese vehicle's name, that you had like single players where you could buy it off of the store and you would have like special missions? Yeah, due to the incompatibility and just Gaijin not updating it for such a long time, they decided to just remove it. Like, I was like, man, if I ever become a content creator, I want to request 2 of those campaigns, and I want to play those single player missions. That was like one of those things that I absolutely wanted to buy, but I couldn't. But it have like so much potential, like making single player custom missions, not custom missions, but like dynamic missions with like specific rewards when you buy a vehicle or something like that, with like backstories and everything. Dude, literally, you have IO2, Bismarck, HMS Hood, K52, you have F14s, you have I-15s. You can make an entire like story based off of like this guy that like does test flights and stuff for Polikarpov in the 1930s and 40s. You can make an entire like Iran-Iraq war situation like campaign with the F-14 and the MiG-25 being added, and you have a lot of potential for this. But Gaijin somehow just doesn't want to use that because they're focusing too much on and there's the other thing that I heavily wanted to mention out as well was the game modes and just the lack of trying new modes, play testing the mode itself once a new game mode comes out. And honestly, Heli PVE was the one that suffered the most from this. Now, I wasn't in the first stage of the nuclear escalation event or nuclear thunder or whatever. I sadly didn't get the Tu-95 and the B-52, but what I did realize was that the SPAAs were just outright broken. Some piece of shit, worthless OSA that couldn't do anything suddenly became more fucking dangerous than the ITO-90 itself. At least this is what I was described about, because this is what we've been experiencing in Heli PVE for ever since whenever. You have Geppards that just lays your pilot down immediately. They just shaft you completely out of nowhere. Now, they removed the Rolands, making the entire base bombing completely boring if the base bombing doesn't disappear after like destroying it for like 5 or 6 bases in every match. Like the M60A1s still pilot snipe you in the canyon map. And overall, you have this feeling of like Gaijin doesn't want to try the game by themselves. And this did not help the fact that Gaijin held a Q&A literally like what, 8 months ago, 1 year ago? And once the players showed up like concerns and questions about the Heli PVE, BBVD essentially said, we already have Heli PVE with all of the necessary objectives and all these kinds of stuff, and the grind is definitely good. And even if you don't like it, you can always go in and research the helicopters with tanks and all this shit like that. You are erasing the fucking question. You don't playtest your own fucking game modes. You had the poor community go through the nuclear escalations with all the unbalancing and all these kinds of stuff with the AA. Now imagine what the Heli PVE players have been experiencing since whenever. Like, it's been 1.5 years since I've played Heli PVE for fun and dedicated was like more than 3 to 4 hours. And it's not just because of like, hey, I want to make a video about this, just make a quick match for like, get a B-roll footage and just get the hell out of the match. I haven't played that game mode for fun for more than 1.5 years. Once the internet got back on due to the shenanigans in the Middle East, I went back in, played shit ton of Air RB, then came back to Heli PVE and realized that, God, how the f fuck did I spend 800 hours on a game mode this fucking trash? Seriously, Heli PVE is the worst game mode ever. And you know what? Part of it is also my fault as well. I'm the heli player, I'm a helicopter content creator, and I'm supposed to make some sort of a fucking guide on this game mode, and I just didn't. I didn't address my fucking concerns. I always was like, when it comes to Heli PVE, this game mode is absolute dog shit, and I never explained anything about it. I definitely will make a guide on Heli PVE eventually. Gaijin, make some new game modes, give it to some playtesters, and so they can actually test some shit out, see what is their problem, what is the compromise of the game mode, so the players would actually have some sort of a decent experience, and actually also receive some feedback about how you can improve the game mode itself as well. Like, for example, you know this seed mission thingy where you essentially had like F4 Phantoms and MiG-21s against each other, then you had the AH-1F in the middle, just, I'm sorry, I have to say this, AH-1F down there sucking on the fucking ground and not being able to do anything because the Shilkas and SPAs were just outright obliterating them to the fucking ground because you couldn't even get close. Because if you would go high, the entire missiles would have killed you. If you would have went down, you had to get closer, and then once you got closer, the Shilkas would have immediately shafted you in the face. Oh, by the way, bullet desync was a thing, and the fucking thing was half of the time wasn't even close to your helicopter, but then all of a sudden your tail would have been exploded because Gaijin, I guess. Gaijin, playtest your shit. For the love of Allah, playtest your shit. Like, I remember the last time they changed anything with regards to Heli PVE was 1.5 years ago. The last major change I remember was that they switched the AMX-30 DCAs on the enemy assaults and defenses to Gepards, basically. And that was pretty much it. Any other minor changes, for example, the Roland's getting removed, or the Gepards sometimes not working, or I don't know, just like something different things. It was all in the effect of, hey, you know what? Let's remove the SPAs in the Air RB. And in conjunction of that, the SPAs also got removed in the bases in Heli PVE as well. Like, that's it. That was like the most major change that they received. Oh, and apparently SPAs can also shoot down your munition as well, I guess. That is also a change that was in the nuclear escalation event or nuclear thunder event or whatever. There was no change to the Heli PVE. I'm not even gonna start with naval, man. Like, I will eventually, not eventually, but like probably next, I'll work on the IL-2 history video, but then afterwards I will definitely make a video about the Heli PV and the problems that it has, because I'm gonna be honest with you, it is by far one of, if not the most useless, worthless piece of game modes I have ever played in this fucking game. Look how miserable helicopters have gotten. Like, literally, I said it also in my community post as well. Helis have become, like, you have to go ahead in ground realistic battles to grind helicopters because, you know, apparently Heli PV is way too much of a cuckold to do anything. You have to go into ground RB, and the helis in that game mode are either outright borderline fucking useless, or they're just the most broken fucking thing on the battlefield. And it's just so goddamn stupid, and that's one of the reasons why helicopters have got such a negative goddamn reputation. Like, you can do so much with the helicopters. God, like, there is a reason why the first helicopter that was made in the world was a fucking utility helicopter, not a piece of shit like fucking Mi-4AV with like 4 fucking rockets. The Mi-4AV itself is a utility helicopter. Early starter helis are utility helis, with the exception of the AH-1G, which was also literally based off of a fucking utility heli itself. Like, for example, this is in this is the idea I had in one of my videos, right? You can add utility helicopters like Bell UH-1B without the armaments. You can do, for example, the supply lines. You could do like logistics. You can, for example, have this package in your helicopter, either by tow hook or just literally raw dog it inside, take it from point A to point B, and it's going to give you some abilities that you don't have on your stock tanks. For example, extra crew replenishment, extra fire extinguisher, extra repairs, or just, I don't know, extra 3 shells, or just an extra ammo box you can carry with your tank. You could also have 3 different game modes for different helicopters. You know, for example, you can have Heli RB, Heli AB, Heli Sim. You can have different helicopters, different ranks. With utility helis, you can add different unique wacky helicopters as well. And hey, you know what? Let new players have access to all starter helicopters, but they're not allowed to put them in ground realistic unless they have a vehicle equal to that rank. And no, guys, and premium vehicles don't count. You already rushed, like, there are plenty of people who rushed their way to top tier by just buying premium fucking vehicles, having zero clue how top tier works, and we don't want to make helis have a worse reputation that they already have. So say, for example, you have the Sikorsky H5 or the H19 or, I don't know, H34 or the MI4 or, I don't know, something that doesn't have any armaments. It's just a utility heli. Maybe it has like 50 cows and stuff like that, right? You have this vehicle, you can use it in ground realistic, but you must have at least, for example, if the heli's at rank 3, you must have at least a rank 3 vehicle in the lineup of yours. Because like helis also have so much potential that Gaijin needs time to invest. Gaijin has a ton of potential. How are they gonna use it? I don't know. Listen, I'm just a simple content creator. These are just my opinions. And opinions will stay opinions regardless. You know, I will eventually make a video about it, about the entire like heli situation. I will explain everything completely because I'm gonna be honest with you. As I said in the community update, I was considering like after like making the Helicopter Academy 101 guide series, I'm just gonna completely abandon the helicopters in War Thunder and just move to something else. And I've been having recent interest, like with my introduction to the IO2s, I also having plenty of interest in like playing props, specifically Soviet props, and I love the I-15 and the I-16s, Yak-1, Yak-7B, and the, you know, there are plenty of vehicles that I would really love to make a video on. And it's just sad that after all of this love that I gave to the helicopters, I have to leave them now. It's really unfortunate. And hey, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comment section. To be honest, I don't even know at this point. Most likely Gaijin's gonna do something about it or just ignore it. I'm pretty damn sure Gaijin's gonna make a response because I do have this belief that Gaijin is kind of decent with regards to like responses to concerns of the players, at least compared to something like, you know, wargaming. Like if any of the OG Blitz players, OG World of Tanks players totally understand the entire Sheridan missile fiasco, the XM551 Sheridan that got added to World of Tanks Blitz, and it was just missile lobbing everywhere, and then it took them like what, 1 year to fix that goddamn thing? Or just compared to how wargaming had to like, it made such a terrible crew system for World of Tanks PC, and they had this concept for like 2 or 3 times, and they wanted to like brute force it into the players' mouths, but due to the ton of backlash that the player base is given to the wargaming, they decided to just revert it back. And then you got War Thunder with the, you know, entire situation back in the day with the War Thunder player union, and I wasn't really informed into the entire situation of WTPU. I don't know what exactly happened, but Gaijin's response at first was off tone deaf. Then they were like, hey, you know what, we're gonna make a roadmap and we're gonna do some stuff, albeit there are some things that still left to this fucking day out of that roadmap that they still haven't fucking done. But eventually I have a feeling that they're gonna acknowledge this one again as well. So hey, you know what, if you're concerned about these things in the game, do actually voice your concerns, because hey, you know what, at the end, we all love this game, right? We say we hate it. We say it's like there's some sort of, and some people have an addiction. I do love this game. I do see the potential if Gaijin doesn't fucking screw it up all the goddamn time. I do see the potential. I come from the era of Gaijin where they essentially made the Apache Air Assault. And if you guys haven't played that game, it's such a legendary game. You guys definitely should actually go ahead and, I don't know, buy an Xbox 360, a PlayStation 3, or an Xbox One with backwards compatibility or something. Get a copy of the Apache Air Assault, either on your PC or your console. Just play that fucking thing. It just feels really incredible. It feels really well polished. And I really want to see the same thing with regards to helicopters in this game as well, because I do see the potential of this game. And then the $1 million question, do I think this game is dying? Not really, to be honest. I mean, sure, we can see some hiccups here and there, but War Thunder really doesn't have competitors that are like, you know, exact competitor to the game itself. At least as far as I know, you know, like compared to World of Tanks PC, or I don't know, maybe DCS even, or hell, even Attack Helicopter Dating Simulator. Who knows, to be honest. But yeah, there are some things that I didn't really talk about. Like, for example, the bug report bias of, like, you know, the Russian side being accepted by the NATO and all these kinds of stuff. I'm not really into that. I just like to play the game for fun, and these were the concerns that I had. But I do see the pattern, kind of. Like, I mean, like, come on, man. If you were like in 2022 where you basically tried out the Hellfires in the AH-64s, you literally couldn't kill any kind of goddamn ground vehicle that was closer than 1.8 kilometers. Now, in the meantime, you also had the Ka-50 with a Vickers missile. A Vickers missile that was by far one of the most broken and utterly ridiculous missiles a helicopter ever carried. And by the old stats, to this fucking day, it's just outright broken. I mean, not nowadays. Nowadays, it's just shadow its former glory. But if you ever played it back in the day, yeah, you could like look at the old footages of the Ka-50. You could just launch 12 of them at the same time, and you could just easily parry out an ADATS, which was just it was funny, but not funny when you were on the ADATS side. And then you had the broken tail model of the Ka-50 and the Ka-52 itself. Just once they lost their tails, nothing would have happened. No loss of balance, no avionics loss, just nothing, as if just the heli wasn't given a shit. Now, ironic, all these things happened while the Comanche, once it was added, they realized that the armor was 50 cal proof pretty much, so they just nerfed that fucking thing to the ground immediately. And then it took them multiple years to add in the K variants of the Hellfire to the AH-1Z. And by the way, AH-1Z's K Hellfires are just tandem charged with like 100 millimeters of extra penetration. That's it. It wasn't anything broken. Guys, it took years for them to add it. Why does it take years to nerf something Russian? Well, why does it take years to just buff something in American trees? It's like, listen, Gaijin itself doesn't really help the situation either, man. But you know what? Everybody else, like, you know, the guys that do bug reports and like having different had different flight manuals and stuff like that, they have their own numbers, their own stats, and they know the situation of bug report better than me. So I'll leave it to other content creators to basically have a bigger discussion about this. But yeah, overall, this was all the concerns that I had about War Thunder, and I hope that things are going to get fixed soon and things are going to get better, because hey, you know what, at the end of the day, we all just deserve something better. All right, so I'm going to have some discussions with regards to the channel updates and stuff like that. First of all, I would like to sincerely apologize for not responding to the comments. I don't have a full access to my YouTube, and I'm going to be honest, I am way too fucking scared to do anything, right? Like, uploading videos already is just a heavy stress of, like, me losing the channel. And, yeah, with my situation being like, hey, you know what, the tensions are also going very, very high as well. Like, hey, you know what, the entire ceasefire and like the war situation has died down, but we Iranians follow the news quite a lot, and it's always going up and down. It's just like anytime they're gonna snap at each other, they're gonna throw bombs and and then the government is going to shut down the internet on everybody, and yeah, we're gonna lose our jobs again. The YouTube situation with it, like regards to our IPs, is not really good either, so I apologize if I can't respond to your comments. That's one thing. The other thing is with the finalization of the IO2 project, I was kind of wondering, like, which video should I do next? After the history of the IO2, should I do the Ultimate Naval Guide, or should I go ahead and, like, I don't know, maybe work on the F-18 Hornets? But I got rusty in jets, and I got more involved into like props and stuff, so I was like, hey, should I make a video on the F-18s, specifically like F-18E or the F-18Cs, or should I go ahead and make a video on the I-16s or I-15s, or I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I have a feeling that top tier is not really the place for me anymore. I don't know, I'm heavily conflicted. I have like multiple scripts ready for the different aircrafts at top tier. Like, for example, you have the Mirage F1, Mirage 4000, MiG-25, I have the F-18 Hornet series ready, but I have this weird feeling that it's just no, just no. Kind of sick and tired of top tier. I want to just go down the BRs and work on, like, for example, some props and like get myself a break. Of course, I will work on the Helicopter Academy thingy. I will see if I can release the controversial videos first, address my concerns with like scripts properly, completely well, without any kind of problems, not with me just, you know, rambling in front of the microphone right now. Like, I've been rambling for like 50 minutes straight right now, and I've been using Adobe Premiere to just cut everything off to make it as short as possible, and I'm like assuming like the video is going to be like, what, 20 to like 30 minutes already. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, this was pretty much it for this video. I do apologize if if the tone of the video was different and it wasn't the Helicopter Ultimate Guide, but let me know what you think. Please, if you can, just, you know, keep the conversation civil, no politics, no harassment, no nothing, because, you know, there are people that are actually watching my YouTube channel. They can pretty much and ruin my entire career on command. So this was also one of the reasons why I prepared everything to just come in front of the camera, you know, like 2 or 3 years ago, and to start, like, you know, yapping about the problems that War Thunder has. But unfortunately, then I realized that if I show my face, they're gonna, it's gonna be troublesome for me in the future. So for that reason, I canceled everything and started to, you know, make it into voice record. Dude, I even wrote down jokes for it. Like I wrote plenty of like jokes and like talking points and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I have to like make this video as fast as possible and upload it because I was way late to the schedule and late to the party, because other content creators also made the video as well. And as I was like recording this entire fucking voice, I was lying down literally on my fucking bed. And now I just stood up trying to turn on the fucking PC, and I'm gonna start editing with the air conditioner off to the fucking max, because why is the PC not turning on? Oh, yeah, the power button was off. Hold on. Yeah. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go back to editing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have a good time. Peace out.